Happy, wonderful Wednesday, everybody, or maybe wacky Wednesday for many of you. For a lot of us, hump day Wednesday. Just welcome. I wanted to say thank you to all the amazing educators out there who put the time and talent into submitting sessions for Spring Q. We had a lot of session submissions. So we are hard at work getting those ready to be sent over to our session reviewers so that you can be notified of your acceptance as soon as possible. So just keep that in mind. But thank you again for taking all that time and effort to put forth your ideas and passion in education towards presenting at Spring Q. And also congratulations to all of you who were able to register for Spring Q by the early bird deadline, which was yesterday at midnight. So congratulations on getting that wonderful, wonderful price for the Spring Q conference. And you can still register for the Spring Q conference all the way up until the wonderful date of Spring Q. Again, Spring Q is going to be happening in person this year. Yes, in person between March 17th and 19th, 2022 in wonderful Palm Springs, California. Who doesn't want to be in Palm Springs in March? I know I love to be there every single year, and I'm glad we can be back after a 3-year virtual hiatus. So yes, it's going to be fun. But the purpose of today's quick message for you is all the different ways that you can participate in the Spring Q conference, even if you weren't able to put in a presentation. One of the things I absolutely want you to know, and we're going to talk about this more in the coming weeks, is meet the podcasters. If you are a podcaster, if you're out there, you're part of the Q community, and you're going to be attending the Q conference, definitely sign up for Meet the Podcasters because then you can share your podcast with your audience. And we're also going to have a meet and greet session where you're going to be in the vendor hall on what we are going to call like Innovator Aisle or Innovator Square. So people can come up and talk to you and chat shop about podcasts. And also we have a lot of members of Q who are authors. So if you are an author, we would love for you to be part of Meet the Authors. Again, you'll be able to be part of a session where you can stand up and talk a little bit about your book and the origins of that book and the passions behind it. And then you're going to be able to be a part of that, again, that innovator aisle in the vendor hall, so individuals can come up and talk to you about your book. So those are going to be some great ways that you can participate in Spring Q if you did not put in for a session, and even if you did put in for a session. But today, I want to talk about one of the greatest sessions that you can participate in at Spring Q because it's about an idea that you may have, a big idea that you may have. And this is the Leroy Finkel Big Idea. Yes, so Leroy's Big Idea is a session that we have at Spring Q that you can, you're going to be able to put in an application on a grand idea of how you want to transform your campus or a great experience you want to give your students. And you get to put an application about that big idea. And if you are one of the 3 finalists selected at Spring Q, you will be able to present your big idea to a panel of judges in a very Shark Tank style session where you will be able to win $2,000 to fund your big idea. And finalists who do present, they each will be winning $1,000 for their big idea. So what is this big idea? How can you be part of this big idea? What kind of big idea? Well, I want to talk to you about how you apply and then some of the big ideas that have been put forth. And then the wonderful Sarah Armstrong, a longtime leader and mentor in the Q community, will kind of give you a walkthrough of what the big idea is, its origins, and how to apply as well. So I'm going to walk through it really quickly, and then Sarah is going to take it over. So again, what is the big idea? Well, the Leroy Finkel Fellowship starts by going to q.org/Leroy. Here you will be able to click this big button that says submit your big idea. But let me walk you through some of the stipulations and some of the things that we're going to be looking at. So submissions open on December 6th. So it's December 1st today. And little hint, I think it might be open today. So if you have your idea ready, you go. But it officially opens December 6th and it closes January 19th. And we are really steadfast on that date because we need to have our awards committee be able to go through and rank the submissions coming through. And we need to be able to let you know that, hey, you've been selected as one of the finalists, because you will need to be able to get to Palm Springs and get a hotel room and those kinds of things. So we want to give you plenty of time to make those arrangements. So we are steadfast on that date of that deadline of January 19th. And you can come in here and you can see the rubric that the judges or the awards committee will be looking at in grading your idea. It is going to be an application plus a quick 60-second pitch of your idea that you're going to be pitching out to that awards committee, judging committee. And it gives you a little bit of ideas of what the video portion is going to be there. The video portion will be done in Flipgrid, so it's an easy click and record that you can do right there. The written proposals are going to be a part of the application process. And as part of the application process, we are going to ask for a budget because if you get selected as a finalist, you will be given the up to $1,000 based upon your budget. And so what you need, what items will you need to complete your big idea? Gives you history of Leroy. Leroy was an amazing individual. I'm not going to just quickly read through this because I think you should go here and read all about how amazing Leroy was, and what a big part Q played in his life, and his life played in part of Q. It's going to talk about the eligibility. So you must be a K through 20. So yes, college professors can participate in this as well, but you must be a Q member working as an educator within California to be eligible to apply for this Leroy Finkel Award. You also must be in attendance. So by submitting, that means you saying that you will be in Palm Springs, March 17th to 19th, attending the Spring Q Conference, because you will need to be able to get yourself there and have a hotel room there. And the finalists will each receive $1,000 applied towards your grant budget. And then the award winner will receive a total of $2,000 with that winning grant to fund their big idea. So what are some of these past big ideas? Well, I would love to come in here and take a look. So if we come back over here to our big idea, sponsored by Aries, by the way. I want to give a big shout out to Aries Student Information Systems for sponsoring the big idea this year. So thank you so much, Aries, for that wonderful, wonderful sponsorship. So Leroy was a wacky, creative, and generous human being, community-driven, or should I say Q, community-driven, all about changing the lives of students and helping educators make that happen. So, of course, the Leroy Finkel Award is something that is absolutely in his name. And so big idea time. What are some of the big ideas in the past? Well, our 2021 finalist, Lisa Chavez, her idea was called the Hesperia History Project. And this was about getting recorders so her students can go around her town and record the history of their longtime residents, because the Hesperia History Society had gone away. But because of her big idea and because of what her project is, the Hesperia History Society for her town is back, and her students are a big part of it. So her big idea was a fantastic idea that is changing the history of her town. Chelsea Bonilla, she was the winner in 2020, and she had a project about history, Walk With Me, all about VR in the history class. And the amazing Jesus Huerta, he had a phenomenal idea in 2019, and he won about 3D printing and empathy in the classroom, showing how students can create and make an impact in their community. So other finalists, we had Scott Petrie and Ryan O'Donnell with recording and preserving oral histories of California wildfire. Jennifer Cox having an idea about partnering high school kids and elementary kids using spheros and problem solving. Another Scott Petrie one, amazing Scott, text messaging micro courses, having students learn and gain knowledge through text messaging. What kids have their phones already, right? Allison Bogart, electromagnetic exploratorium. Corey Coble, Engineering for All. Christina Alina's Student Podcasting. That was an amazing idea. Nora Gamez and Andrew Arevalo at McCabe Sports. Rebecca, fantastic Rebecca, great up there at CCQ. She had a great idea on Up, Up and Away up with rockets and drones. Eddie Gonzalez, or Dr. Eddie Gonzalez, we should say now, about kids teaching adults. Jonathan El Meridio, he had a great one about our great unfinished symphony, documenting and sharing immigrant experiences. And then another one, Brian Springmayer, about drones in agriculture, which is huge here in the Central Valley, by the way, Central Valley of California. So that was a great idea. But I want to show you an example. So Jesus Huerta, he had the idea of 3D printing. So I'm giving you an example of what kind of the pitch session was about at the actual Leroy event. And so you have a little bit of slides that you're going to be presenting, pitching in a Shark Tank style session, presenting to the judges on why your idea should be selected. And you're talking about why 3D printing. Can students only create toys? No, they can create things that people can actually use. We can get them started and get them exposure to create. Start off small, the progression, making it bigger and better and new things and moving on and creating these robotic hands. And then within the session, you have your budget. And again, the budget has to be under $1,000 because you get up to $1,000 before becoming a finalist. And then talking about that prototype procedure and walking through and how this is happening and how it connects to the standards. And so all of these things. And then if you win the finalists, right? If you win the fellowship, if you win the grand prize, the $2,000, what would you do with the extra $1,000? And he says, I'm going to buy 4 more printers so students can print more often. And here is my secondary budget to use for that extra $1,000. So that is part of the Leroy process. That is part of the pitch session. And that is what we are looking toward. So if you want to be part of Leroy's big idea, if you have a great idea that you would like to put out there right now, all you have to do is go to q.org/Leroy, which will take you to this amazing page. And you click on submit your big idea, and you can go through that submission process right here by submitting your big idea. You do have to create a quick account with just your name and your email address, and then you can upload your application for your big idea. All of the information is here. All the rubric is here. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to reach out to me at jmarquez@q.org. All right. So that is enough from me. I would absolutely love for you to hear from the amazing Sarah Armstrong all about the Leroy Fellowship Award and how you can be a part of the 2022 Leroy Fellowship session at Fall Q. So without further ado, Sarah, take it away.
My name is Sarah Armstrong. I'm a former Q board member, former East Bay Q board member, proud member of East Bay Q. Been a member of Q for many, many years. So I did have the pleasure of meeting Leroy Finkel, who is the topic of our session today. Let me get started with my screen. So Leroy's big idea. Let's talk about Leroy's big idea. That's what we're talking about today, and it's one of the programs of Q that you can participate in and share some great ideas and get some funding for your projects. So Leroy Finkel was one of the early founders of Q many, many years ago. He was a really interesting guy, great sense of humor, innovative, just very creative in his thinking, and very interested in deep teaching and learning projects and ideas that would address students where they are and take them to who knows where. So the idea is to create a project that would enable or honor that kind of thinking, that kind of creativity. So the big idea is an innovative, technology-enhanced curriculum project that is standards-aligned, replicable, and relevant. Let me say that again. Innovative, technology-enhanced curriculum project, standards-aligned, replicable, and relevant. One of the early winners of the Leroy Finkel Fellowship was Jerome Berg, whom you may know from Google Lit Trips. So here was an idea. Google Maps, how can that be used effectively and in interesting ways in education? So Jerome's idea was to have students create places that you would go on the earth that would relate to the readings that were being done. Now it's a huge thing, and well done, well done. And people from all over the world, students from all over the world participate and share their ideas and learn from what other students have created around literature. Great idea, taking something that was in existence, thinking about how it could be applied on a larger screen. In 2019, Jesus Huerta was honored as the Leroy Finkel Fellow because of his idea of 3D printing and empathy. So here is an amazing project where Jesus said, okay, we've got 3D printers. What can we do with them? Well, we can make all kinds of things. And he teamed with a group that makes prosthetics for people who need them. And his students created the prosthetics totally on the model that was sent to them of the need of a particular person. Now, my understanding is Jesus didn't tell his students early on that they were actually designing something that would be used by an individual. So when that was revealed, it was a whole nother level of excitement and appreciation for the work and what they were able to do. Very exciting. Last year's winner is Lisa Chavez, third grade teacher, and the Hesperia History Project was her big idea, which was to allow students to understand places, landmarks, and places in their community while they were doing distance learning. So she and a local historian would go to the landmarks and be filmed as the historian told her about what was happening at that place or why it was a landmark, why it was important. And then she had the idea, wouldn't it be interesting to be able to have a top-down look at the landmark and the area? So she got some drones to help with those aerial views. And the students added their interviews, drawings, pictures, thoughts, ideas, made a book, and it's all available and ongoing and documents the history of Hesperia. So the eligibility requirements: you have to be a CUE member, not hard to do. You have to be a part or full-time K-20 educator, which opens it up, and have a good big idea. Then you complete the written application, create a 60-second video knocking the socks off of the judges to share your idea. And you must be able to present at Spring CUE, be one of the finalists, if you're one of the finalists, and agree to share your idea through the On CUE journal. So I've been a judge of the projects for many years, and it's really fascinating to see what people come up with. It's just wonderful. So here's the rubric that we use, and it's on a 4-point scale. And the way I can characterize it sort of easily is yes, yes, but, no, but, and no. So the lesson, first of all, has to be innovative, relevant, and replicable. So as it says, we're excited about new ideas and also new twists on old ideas. So adding literature to Google Maps, adding the idea of really addressing an individual person with a 3D product, or being able to have an aerial view of work that's being done on the ground to share history. The lesson idea is educationally impactful and inspires classroom or community or region or statewide folks, and the innovation can be taken to all those places. And then there's a budget. You're asked to fill out a budget that's complete, efficient, and scalable. So all three of those need to be highly scored for you to become a finalist. The finalist award is a $1,000 grant. Yes, you have to pay taxes on it. You also get free registration for Spring CUE, in this case 2022 Spring CUE. You'll be invited to be on stage in the finalists session where the judging takes place and the winner is revealed. You'll be included in the Leroy Finkel finalist update, which is a column of On Cue. And there are 2 30-minute coaching sessions with a professional presentation coach to help you do the best presentation and convince the judges that you should be the winner. And just a note that you'll be asked to submit a final grant report at the completion of the project, whether you're a finalist or the winner, him or herself. The fellowship award is $2,000 grant, and you get guidance for 1 year with a professional mentor recommended by the CUE board. You have an invitation to write a feature for On Cue, and you would be invited to be a judge in next year's round of finalists at the Spring CUE session. Again, fellows must submit a final grant report at the completion of the project. Here are the details for the important details for now. Go to the website. Under Impact, you'll find Leroy Finkel, or go directly to this webpage. Applications will be available December 6th. The application deadline is January 19th. And once again, the big idea is an innovative, technology-enhanced curriculum project that is standards aligned, replicable, and relevant. Some concerns that we've had as judges in the past are the creativity. It's got to be a really big idea. It needs to be something that knocks our socks off. And just think about the needs that you have in your classroom in terms of expanding how the students will understand the content, whatever it is. So we've had applications from K-12, all content areas, and there are some wonderful projects from any content area that you can think of. You really need to be detailed about what it is you're going to do and why. So maybe that's most important. It's not about the stuff. It's about how whatever you're asking for is going to really enhance the educational experience of students and beyond. As we've said, it needs to be replicable. So how far can you take, or can students take, the idea that you come up with? It's got to be something really interesting, innovative, creative, important, and expands to a wider audience and will have impact on students, teachers, community, as far as you can go. So my advice is to be really clear about your idea, talk with colleagues, brainstorm, figure out the best ways to present what it is that you're talking about, because you'll do it in narrative form and then also through your 1-minute video, which, as you know, isn't very long. So those are the ideas that you need to get across quickly and clearly. A caution that I am surprised that I need to make, but I do: please have someone spell check your application. It's really discouraging as a judge to find typos or repeated words or something unclear in the written work. This is easy to do, as you know, and you could even have somebody else read it for clarity to make sure that you're really saying and communicating what it is that you want to do, so that we, the judges, can really get behind your idea and your thought. It was interesting. I read an article recently about creativity and curiosity, and that it's keeping curiosity alive. And there are lots of ways to do that for lifelong learning, people live longer who are curious and continue to foster that curiosity. And one good way is through reading and writing. So being able to express yourself that way and reading deeply in a variety of genres, or deeply into the genre you love the most, keeps that curiosity growing, thinking about what's going on in the story or the work that you're involved in, and sharing your thinking about it with other folks. I also want to recommend to you the Big Question Institute, which has a rubric, or a process for brainstorming around projects or any content area that's really solid. When I was working in project-based learning, the hardest thing for teachers at that time was to come up with a driving question. Well, the Right Question Institute has a way to do that. And it's really, really been successful for all ages to get involved in working towards answering a question around a content area that's important to the student, meaning then that the student would probably go deeper into it and spend more time thinking and creating than if we're just saying, this is what you need to study and here are some resources. So those are some ideas about how to create your big idea, make it innovative, make it relevant, make it standards-based, technology-enhanced instruction. It has to do with helping your students become better learners, deeper learners, producers of their own products, their own learning, and how can we help them do that through creating a project that can really grow what you have already or the next step of where you'd like to go with your students and technology and standards and relevance and innovation. Thank you.
All right, Sarah, great job. Thank you so much for that amazing presentation. A lot of information, a lot of great information that our listeners will be very, very interested in. And again, if you would love to be a part of the Spring Q 2022 Leroy Finkel Fellowship Award session, all you have to do, again, is go to leroyq.org/Leroy. Sponsored by Aries, and you can then read all about it and you can think about your big idea and submit that big idea. Please remember, Leroy Finkel session ideas will be open December 6th and they will close. The deadline to submit your big idea is January 19th, 2022. And I'll tell you this. All right, I'll tell you this. You may be thinking, I have a lot of ideas, but I don't know if it's a big idea. Or, you know what, I have some ideas, but I'm sure a lot of people, other people have lots of big ideas, and I probably won't even be selected. Try it. Try it. Trust me. Trust me. If you find passion in your idea, and if you know it's going to resonate with your students and your staff and your school community, put that in. The first step is understanding that this is for you. That's the first step. Right? Like some people may be thinking, oh, this is open to everybody, but like not me, everybody. Yes, you. Yes, you, everybody. And you may have friends that are a part of Q that are like, this is them, or this is what they're doing. I mean, it's a great way to share your passion and your talents and then get money from it, right? Get a fellowship award from it and be a part of the amazing history of the Leroy Finkel Fellowship Program. So I encourage you, yes, you, yes, you, to put in for the amazing Leroy Finkel Fellowship, because you may be selected as the top 3 finalists and you may end up winning the Leroy Fellowship Award. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope your big idea is big enough to fill the shoes of Leroy. Thank you so much, and have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday.